In the headlines, Nigerians react as Consumer Protection Commission shut down Chinese supermarket over discrimination. Tragedy strikes as celebrating soldier mistakenly shoots villager dead. Suspected herders kill 3 farmers in Benue State. And on the foreign scene, 5, including child, die trying to cross English Channel. Hello, welcome to News Updates on Trust TV. I am Lilian Ogazi. Now to the news in detail. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FTCC, has shed light on the ownership of the 2 supermarkets sealed over the weekend in Abuja. The acting executive vice chairman, chief executive officer of the commission, Adamu Abdullahi, who was speaking with Trust TV News on the action, which followed allegation of discrimination against Nigerians by the supermarkets, said the federal government will also work to ensure that the rights of Nigerians are protected at all times. The report.
Contrary to reports making the rounds that both supermarkets are owned by foreigners, the acting executive vice chairman of FTCC clarified that only one is owned by a foreigner, adding that the owners of the second supermarket, who are Lebanese, had already nationalized and are now Nigerians. He also updated Nigerians on the case.
You saw what went viral. This complaint about the fact that since January, this shop has not allowed any Nigerians into both the supermarket and the restaurant. Unfortunately, the owner found it more convenient just lock up the place and leave. And all efforts to reach her, despite the fact that we got her phone number, we got her contacts from the facility managers there, was in vain. So we were left with no option than to stick the summons, just the summons really, that was stuck on the gate of the shop, asking the management of that shop to come and meet us tomorrow at 11 a.m. If they don't come, that's when the sealing action can now take place. What we found out was, we normally go on spot checks just to find out whether things are going on correctly or not. So I was called in because they found out that Amigo was selling Stallion brand rice as well as Cup rice. Stallion Group, as we all know, wound up its services in Nigeria in 2018. In the course of our investigation, we also noticed that they have a lot of products whose expiry dates have been tampered with. That's not allowed. Every reason why consumer should know what the expiry date of the product is. So obviously, those products must have expired. We went ahead, evacuated both the rice and the expired products, and these are now in our own stores. And we also sealed their warehouse so that they cannot have access to more of the goods and they cannot sell to well-meaning Nigerians.
He also spoke on what Nigerians should do when sharp practices are detected.
Tell us whatever infractions they find happening in both the formal and informal markets. And once we get that information, it is what we use to now carry out all the surveillance and enforcement activities that we do here. We encourage people to come and tell us whatever they find out, and we give them our word that nobody would know what the source of information is, but we just go ahead and take action with it.
Meanwhile, some FCC residents have been reacting to news of alleged discrimination by the supermarkets as well as government's clampdown.
Yeah, I think I'm happy about it here. Because what they did is right. So you have a supermarket in Abuja, Nigeria, and you are not selling your product to the fellow Nigerians. So that's not right. That's not good.
The local, do they want local? Or they want local? It's not good.
At the time of filing this report, all efforts to hear from the owners of the supermarkets were not successful. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, the owner of the Abuja-based Chinese supermarket, criticized for barring Nigerians and restricting entry to Chinese nationals, has refuted claims that her store is only meant for a specific group of people. She also clarified that her establishment is not a supermarket, but rather a retail shop aimed at meeting the essential needs of her local community. Louis Bay disclosed this in a personally signed statement on Tuesday, noting that she feels scarred seeing a lot of people she doesn't know in front of her store. Her reaction followed a summon notice and threat of sanction by the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission on Monday. After it sealed her store, Trust TV on Monday reported that the supermarket had implemented a controversial policy restricting entry solely to Chinese nationals, excluding Nigerians from patronizing the establishment. Away from that, a soldier celebrating his birthday has allegedly killed a villager in the Marish community of Bokos local government area of Plateau State. The Bokos Cultural Development Council Vanguard, in a statement by its chairman Faramashum Fudang, said the soldier accidentally pulled the trigger at a relaxation center in the community, which allegedly hit and killed the villager. Faramashum stated that the soldier fired random shots during his birthday celebration on Monday. And he said instead of owning up to the accidental discharge, the victim was labeled as militant alongside residents that attempted to save the life of the passerby. The group is demanding swift and decisive action by the military and state authorities in apprehending and persecuting the accused personnel, while those arrested in connection to rescuing the victims should be released immediately. Meanwhile, the Media and Information Officer of Operation Safe Haven, Major Samson Zakom, military authorities are handling the issues, adding that a decision will be made soon. Suspected herders over the weekend killed 3 farmers in a separate attacks in Entekpa and Idabi communities of Otukpo local government area of Benue State. The chairman of Otukpo, Alfred Omaku, said 1 person was killed at his farm in Entekpa village before the attackers moved up to Adokaicho, where they killed 2 other farmers at Idabi village. The chairman, who is on his way to the affected communities at the time of filing this report, said Entekpa, which comprises of 9 villages, is now completely deserted, leaving the attackers to move freely. He called for help from both the federal and state governments to deploy security personnel to the area to nip the attacks and killings in the bud. According to him, the communities have been deserted when farmers are supposed to be preparing for the planting season. The attackers had launched assaults on several communities in Otukpo, Apa, Agatu, Gwe West, Makodi, Guma, Logo, Ukum, Kwande, and Gwe East local government areas, where 18 persons were killed on March 7, 2024, and later given mass burial by the Benue State government. Still on insecurity, 1 person was on Monday night found killed in a fight that broke out among students at the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology at a nightclub in Ogbomosho, Oyo State. The development followed a misunderstanding which led to a fight between 2 groups of students at a popular joint in the town. They were celebrating the institution's convocation ceremony when the fight broke out. The owner of the club had invited the police when the fight escalated to put the situation under control. 1 person was found killed, while others sustained injuries when the clash turned bloody, according to eyewitnesses. While it is unclear what led to the student's death, the deceased body has been deposited at the Ogbomosho Police Area Command, and Lautech authorities are yet to comment on the matter as at the time of filing this report. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has served a copy of the charge sheet of alleged fraud to the tune of 84 billion naira against the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, on his lawyer, Abdul Wahab Mohammed. This follows a Tuesday order by Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court in Abuja after Bello's absence in court. He was absent from his court for his arraignment on a 19-count charge of alleged money laundering to the tune of 84 billion naira. The judge relied on Section 384, 4 and 5 of the Administrative and Criminal Justice Act 2015, directing the counsel to the immediate past governor to receive a copy of the charge. The court held that where it had become impossible to effect personal service of a legal process on a defendant, such could be done through substituted means. Justice Nwite further held that it was clear that the former governor failed to appear in court for his arraignment, although Bello's lawyer Mohammed initially declined to accept the charges and proof of evidence. He was compelled to do so by Justice Nwite. And now to health. Experts in health are meeting in Kanu to address the problem of poor immunization across Nigeria's northwestern region. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibin reports that vaccine hesitancy and poor immunization has over the years contributed to untimely death of thousands of people across the region. The report.
For the last century, vaccination has been the key to preventing childhood illnesses and improving the lives of society. But Nigeria has been left behind in terms of vaccine acceptance and coverage, a challenge that requires urgent attention for improvement, especially in the northwest geopolitical zone of the country.
Our best period was in the late 80s and early 90s when Professor Olukoya Kuti was the Minister of Health. That was when the country attained nearly 80% vaccine coverage of all children eligible for vaccines. And almost 100% for BCG at that time. Unfortunately, we have been sliding backwards and backwards to the extent that now we have just about 30% coverage across the country.
These health experts and their social media influencers were brought together across the Nigeria's northwest region to brainstorm on the problem of immunization in such a way as to improve the health condition of mostly women and children across the region.
In the southwest, I think they have the highest, almost 70-80%. But in the northwest here, our zone, coverage is just about 25% in terms of childhood immunizations, the 5 key immunizations that you have.
According to these experts, the problem of infrastructures resulting to difficulties in accessing healthcare services among mostly the rural population of Nigeria, government negligence and poor awareness are largely responsible for vaccine hesitancy across northern Nigeria.
Immunization saves life. Nigeria has a program to vaccinate children for the common childhood killer diseases. This is tetanus, diphtheria, tuberculosis, pertussis, polio, and rotavirus. And now Nigeria is introducing vaccination against human papilloma virus. This human papilloma virus is a virus that causes cancer, especially in women, cervical cancer.
The Regional Immunization Champions Workshop is also expected to come up with a policy framework on how best to create awareness among Nigerians on the importance of immunization, especially in preventing childhood-related diseases.
The goal of this workshop is to enable and to increase the capacity of healthcare workers that were invited, that is the participants and the influencers, to have enough knowledge and skills to go back to their community to advocate for better vaccine uptake, especially of the HPV vaccine that is coming.
At the end of this workshop, these health experts are expected to be properly informed on how to ensure improvement in immunization coverage across the Nigeria's northwest zone. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kanu.
Now moving over to Adamawa State, where the Executive Council has approved a sum of 4.7 billion naira for the completion of the Jimeta Permanent Stadium. The council, presided over by Governor Amadu Umaru Fintiri, also approved an additional 18.8 billion naira for extended work on the superhighway in the state.
From the Ministry of Works, the sum of 8,819,827,341 naira 35 kobo was also put in place and also carried for the cost of additional works and variation to the contract for the construction of the superhighway from Welcome to Yola via Rumdekila to AA Lawan Junction in favor of MS Triactor Nigerian Limited.
It was an abundant project for years, for almost a decade now, and it is a project that the state is yearning for. The youth of the state are waiting to see a befitting stadium for the state. Today, the council has approved the sum of 4.7 billion for the contractor to resume the site.
I informed you that we're going to have great interchanges, because there is no how you'd have super highways and then you have abrupt junctions. So we've had to complement the super highways with at the ALL junction, a 7-span flyover, just as we had the first flyover at the Total area. And also we're going to have a clover leaf flyover at the Newman end of the superhighway.
This is news updates coming to you from Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Amidst dwindling economic activities, traders advocate dredging Kaduna River to boost trade. More news when we return.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is news updates on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at our headlines again. Nigerians react as Consumer Protection Commission shut down Chinese supermarkets. Tragedy strikes as celebrating soldier mistakenly shoots villager dead. Now moving on. Lead British International School has been shut down for 3 days following a viral video of bullying in the school involving some students. Now, this was announced at a press briefing attended by parents in the school premises on Tuesday. In response to the disturbing viral video depicting a female student being bullied by fellow students, the school said that it had taken definite action over the incident. The management of the school expressed its disapproval of the incident and confirmed the commencement of an investigation. Now, there was an outrage on social media following the circulating videos showing a female student from the school being harassed by fellow students in what appears like an interrogation session. The victim was slapped several times by another female student in the presence of other students who appeared to be privy to the action. Many have condemned the action seen in the video and urged the school authorities to discipline those responsible.
Request of the minister in charge of women affairs, and we are, Nigerians that, of course, we respect rules and regulations, and we are under the law. Because our school is actually recognized, and our school is, of course, under Federal Capital Territory, and we are registered.
I have a question.
And based on that,
please call the full name of the school, not LBIS. Yeah, thank you. Call the full name. Yes.
Lead British International School Abuja is hereby shut for 3 days.
Away from that, fishermen, farmers, sand collectors and other tradesmen people earning a living from the Kaduna River are concerned that climate change and irregular human activities are affecting the river. According to them, the reduction in the water level, especially during the dry season, has reduced the resources they get from the river. Trust TV's Bello Musa, who visited River Kaduna Bank, reports that they are calling for the dredging of the river in order to make it more productive. The report.
River Kaduna is a tributary of the River Niger and stretches over 500 kilometers. It is said to have gotten its name from the crocodile that lives in the river. The river has been a source of livelihood for many people. However, the present condition of the river is affecting not only the aquatic life, but the people who rely on to survive. There used to be a lot of sand in this place, but now it is only rocks you see with water far gone. Before now, sand mining was easy, but now we hardly get it. We used to mine 10 bots of sand per day, but now we hardly get 2 or 3. Besides sand collectors, fishing activities have also been affected due to the condition of the river. Things have really changed. Most of the species of fish we use to get from the river have disappeared because of the refuse that is being dumped in the river. This wasn't the practice before. Plastic waste is affecting the river.
amma yanzu bola leda me duk ta bu gaba ɗaya ta ɓata kogin.
According to an expert, climate change and human activities are some of the factors responsible for the decline in the water levels of the river.
So the small river you see around that you take for granted, or the small streams you see around you take for granted, are those that come together to form rivers. And they are the sources that most of these rivers are recharged. So once human activities like urbanization, construction, agricultural activities actually tamper with those tributaries, certainly the water level in the mother or in the river itself will drop.
They call on the government to protect the river by discouraging people from dumping plastic materials and other harmful substances that affect aquatic life and the safety of the river. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Away from that, the Central Bank of Nigeria has released another circular to the Bureau of Exchange operators notifying them of direct sales of the US dollar at discounted rate of 1,000 naira per dollar. The decision by the Apex Bank will make it the second sales for the month of April and the fourth time in 2024 as part of measures to keep the naira afloat, as it fell against the dollar in the past days. Now, according to the circular, the BDCs are to sell to eligible end users at a spread of not more than 1.5% above the purchase price. The Apex Bank said all eligible BDCs are therefore directed to commence payment of the naira deposit to the CBN Naira deposit account. Away from Nigeria to the foreign scene, 5 people, including a 7-year-old girl, have died while trying to cross the English Channel in a small boat, French officials say. The small boat set off in the early hours of Tuesday from a beach in Wemereux, northern France. The boat was heavily laden and carrying more than 100 people. The French Maritime Prefecture for the Channel and the Northern Sea said. In a statement, it added that the boat appeared to get into difficulty after passing a sandbank, prompting rescue efforts. The incident comes as the UK's Parliament passed the Prime Minister's flagship Rwanda bill after months of wrangling. It will see some asylum seekers sent to the East Central African country to have their claims processed. The bill designates Rwanda a safe country, but the plan is fiercely criticized by opposition and rights groups. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak says the incident serves as a reminder of why he wants to deter people smugglers. And in sports, Premier League referees Michael Oliver and Anthony Taylor have been selected to officiate at Euro 24. Their colleagues Stuart Atwell and David Coote will be video assistant referees for the tournament. Stephanie Frappart became the first female to officiate at Men's European Championship when she did so in 2021. But no female referees have been selected for Germany this summer. In total, 18 referees along with their referee assistant teams and the video match officials and support match officials will be in charge of the tournament, 51 matches. Oliver and Taylor were selected to officiate at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar as well as Euro 2020. Oliver has been paired up with assistant referees Stuart Britt and Dan Cook, while Taylor has been partnered with Gary Benswick and Adam Nunn. Taylor was the referee on Sunday for Nottingham Forest's 2-0 loss at Everton in the Premier League, while Atwell was the VAR official. With that, we've come to the end of News Updates on Trust TV. Do well to follow us on all our social media handles for more news updates and documentaries. I am Lilian Ogazi. Thanks for watching and bye for now.